On a quiet morning, a young boy sat on a bench in a park, his arms crossed tightly, frustration clear on his face. He had just failed his math test and felt the sting of embarrassment. "What's the point of trying if I'm just going to fail?" he muttered under his breath. An old man with a kind smile and gentle eyes noticed the boy. He walked over slowly, leaning on his cane, and asked, "Mind if I sit here?" The boy shrugged. "Sure." For a moment they sat in silence, the boy staring at the ground while the man gazed at the trees swaying in the wind. Then the old man spoke. "You know, I used to come to this park every day when I was about your age." The boy glanced at him but said nothing. The man continued, "Back then I was terrible at climbing trees. My friends would laugh at me because I'd always slip and fall. One day I got so mad I decided I'd never try again." The boy's curiosity piqued. "What happened? Did you give up?" The man smiled. "I wanted to, but my father gave me a piece of advice that stuck with me. He said, 'It's okay to fail. What matters is what you do after.' So I kept trying. I fell more times than I could count, but one day I reached the top of the tallest tree in the park. And you know what? It wasn't just about the tree. It was about proving to myself that I could do it." The boy frowned. "But that's different. Climbing a tree is easy. Math isn't." The man nodded. "You're right. Math might be harder for you, just like climbing was hard for me. But here's the thing. If you let failure stop you now, you'll never know what you're capable of." The boy's expression softened, but doubt lingered. "What if I keep failing?" The old man leaned closer, his voice gentle but firm. "Let me tell you another story. Once, there was a farmer. He had a small farm and one day his horse ran away. His neighbors came and said, 'What bad luck?' But the farmer just shrugged and said, 'Maybe.' The next day the horse returned, bringing 3 wild horses with it. The neighbors exclaimed, 'What good luck?' The farmer smiled and said, 'Maybe.' The following day, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses. He fell and broke his leg. The neighbors came again and said, 'What terrible luck?' The farmer replied, 'Maybe.' A week later, soldiers came to the village, drafting all the young men to fight in a war. They didn't take the farmer's son because of his broken leg. The neighbors marveled, 'What incredible luck?' And the farmer simply said, 'Maybe.' The boy furrowed his brow. "What does that story mean?" The old man chuckled softly. "It means that what seems bad now might lead to something good later. Failing your test feels awful today, but maybe it's teaching you resilience. Maybe it's showing you that you need to approach the problem differently. You won't know unless you keep going." The boy looked down, his fingers tracing circles on the bench. "So, you're saying I shouldn't give up?" The man nodded. "Exactly. Life is full of ups and downs. The key is to stay humble and keep trying. Sometimes we think we know how things will turn out, but life surprises us." The boy smiled faintly. "Thanks. I guess I'll give it another shot." The old man patted him on the shoulder. "That's the spirit. Remember, every failure is a step closer to success." As the boy got up to leave, he turned back and asked, "Did you ever climb more trees after that?" The man laughed. I found new challenges, and I kept falling, but I also kept getting back up. That's the secret, my boy." The boy grinned and walked away, his steps lighter than before. The old man watched him go, a knowing smile on his face. He leaned back on the bench, closed his eyes, and listened to the wind rustling through the trees, carrying with it the sound of new beginnings.